Don't touch me!
Oh, it's funny because it's autobiographical. It's true.
Yes.
All of it's true.
All of it.
The Force, the Jedi, all of it.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
He's the key to all of this.
But Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes is the key to all of this.
Bustin' rhymes.
Bustin'.
Neil Cicierega. Potter Puppet Pals. Big Damn Cast. Kevin Bacon. Hi everybody, welcome to 6 Degrees of Waste of Time.
Yeah.
I'm Chris, hacked by the Studio Johnson.
And I am one of the 4 or more narratives in Shane Black's The Predator.
We'll get around to that. As this is part 2 of our Predator sort of retrospective, although this time, of course, looking toward the present and possibly future of the franchise with a review of the movie, because we've seen it already, and we're going to talk all about it.
We've literally seen it like 2 hours ago.
I know, it was an experience. But also, we've got some news to catch up on.
Yes.
A little bit from last week about Captain Marvel. Some breaking news as of the recording of this on Wednesday the 12th of September.
Literally breaking the internet.
Yes. But first, where have you been? I mean, you were definitely here last week. Definitely. It wasn't a pre-recorded episode.
No, I was in Devon and Cornwall last week. I spent a couple of days in Paignton in Devon camping, and then we moved on to Tintagel in Cornwall, the apparent birthplace of King Arthur.
Arthur, King of the Britons.
Arthur, King of the... So everywhere in the little town is named something.
Lancelot
Arthurian.
Cafe.
Yeah, there's the King Arthur's Arms. There's like the
Galahad's
Hotel.
Legs.
Yeah, all sorts of everywhere.
Guinevere's Cooch.
Oh dear.
Alright, Merlin's Cooch.
Mordred's Market.
Hey!
I did a one.
Oh god, it's like pulling swords.
Galahad's Groceries.
It's like pulling swords from a stone, getting puns out of this.
Oh! No swords in stones. Lots of stones. Like, everywhere is slate cliffs. Everywhere on that stretch of Cornwall coast. So I was like, we were staying in between, on a campsite in between Tintagel and Boscastle.
Aye.
And we were literally on the top of a cliff.
Oh.
Like, the campsite just...
Like, the wrong sort of breeze.
The campsite was on the coast. And it curved right the way around where it's mostly campers, like caravans and camper vans. The tent pitches...
Statics and things like that.
Yeah. But no, like tourists.
Oh, damn,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it curved right round and then it came uphill, and we were just on the top of this cliff. Like it's a nice big grassy bit on top of this big slate cliff. So there's a bunch of like pitches for campers and caravans, and then there's a few tent pitches as well. So I woke up in the morning, stuck my head out the tent, and I was literally looking over the Atlantic Ocean.
Nice.
Yes.
And then a seagull pinched your sausages.
Oh no!
Did you take a little gas cooker or a little portable gas cooker?
Yes.
They're great.
So some beans were had.
Yeah, plenty of beans. You can if you get like canned foods, they're great for that sort of stuff. You can like canned new potatoes and like peas and do stuff like that.
Well,
like
not one hob.
Chicken in white wine sauce. You can do it in one pan, or put 2 pans up on top of each other and switch them over every now and again.
What?
I'm a veteran at this.
We did attempt to make s'mores.
Oh, when you say attempt, did you mean you just farted on a marshmallow?
Listen, we got the marshmallows.
You're not denying it.
And we burnt them.
Oh.
But they were nice and soft, and we had some chocolate, and we had digestives. Because I asked an American girl I worked with for a little bit what the best alternative was.
For s'mores, the UK equivalent.
Because we don't have graham crackers over here.
True.
Or graham crackers.
Yeah, well, Graham.
Graham crackers.
Hey there, Graham. Hey there, Laura Croft.
Or cinnamon grams.
Golden Grahams.
Golden Grahams. I miss them being called Golden Grahams. And apparently she said digestives are pretty close.
Okay, all right. So you got the experience to a degree.
Yeah, it was very messy.
Damn.
And we spent a week...
And what about the s'mores?
Hey! And of course,
dirt.
You don't want to spend a week sleeping on a slightly inflated memory foam mat on top of hard ground.
Was it the kind where, like, at the start of the night it was cozy, and by the
No,
end of
because
the morning you were like, why do I hurt?
It wasn't like an air mattress, it was like a memory foam mattress that sort of self-inflated.
Right,
throwing
okay.
air into it
Yeah.
itself, but so there's no motor or anything, you don't have to blow it up. It's just got like a one-way valve though, air comes into it over time.
Okay.
But it's not quite thick enough.
I think those things are built to keep you comfortable at the least, but make you more appreciative of your bed when you get home.
Oh, boy, did it! Because, oh man, I'm asleep. Oh, there's a root in my back! Yeah.
I'm asleep. There's a squirrel on my sack.
Hey!
I'm asleep. Yo, Lordy, take me back to them sweet
No
old
squirrels.
hills of... Oh, yeah,
No squirrels, thankfully. But,
Oh?
while we were away,
Yeah?
of course, first proper photos dropped from
The heavens.
the
From
upcoming
space.
Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
showing us...
Not to be confused with the other Captain Marvel, who's not called Captain Marvel this time.
This is the Brie Larson starring MCU Captain Marvel film, which
the
is
next
out in
MCU film.
February?
No, April, I believe. April? Because it's April for both that and Shazam. So both the characters who've been known as Captain Marvel over the decades are getting their movie released at the same time.
So is Infinity War next summer then?
Yeah, the release slate for next year.
Because they've just gone back for reshoots on Infinity War.
Yeah, Captain Marvel's April, early April, so it
Yeah.
could be late March for the UK.
Yeah,
Infinity
that makes
War
sense.
is late May, mid-June.
And then
So there's not much gap between those two. And then Spidey's late July, early August.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah. I always like to call it.
Bam, bam, ba, ba, bam, 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 bam. That doesn't really fit on a poster though.
Should do.
So,
Do you remember they used to do those little holographic posters in tiny windows in Odeon cinemas where it would be just like a holographic image and you walk past it and you see like a thing.
yeah.
They should do that now, but it's just a
They did
poster
that
that sings
for,
at you.
they did the one that for Prisoner of Azkaban with the Sirius Black.
Yeah,
portrait.
which works
Yeah.
for that, because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it does that in the film. It's a moving photo.
Yes.
For everything else, you just have to get really close. And it's like the worst advertising in the world, because you have to get mega close to see this graphic.
Yeah,
It's like, what's the point?
it was bad.
Print a big-ass poster.
Anyway,
Harry Potter in the big-ass poster.
can we talk about the Captain Marvel pictures?
We fucking can, sunshine. So she's graced the cover of Entertainment Weekly.
Yes, we've got red and
as
blue
I-
costume, proper red and blue costume.
I remember seeing a tweet, I can't remember who it was by, apologies if it's someone listens to the show, but someone posted the Entertainment Weekly cover from the other week with Jodie Whittaker on the front, and the Entertainment
Jodie
Weekly
Whittaker.
cover with Brie Larson on the front, so the Doctor Who and Captain Marvel covers, and wrote a caption along the lines of, loving that blonde space queen big dick energy.
Yeah,
It's just like, yes!
that's a mixed message. I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie.
Alright, big vagina energy. No, it
That
doesn't work.
no.
Doesn't work. But yeah,
Let's
so...
just keep the genitals out of this.
But yeah, as you say, we finally see the costume, like the red and blue
Yeah.
and yellow, like we get to see it,
Yeah.
and it is a recoloured version of the sort of the Marvel
because
Kree
we also
uniform.
see Jude Law as Marvel.
Well, it's not been
in his.
confirmed that he's Marvel. Notably, they don't give his name in this article,
I
even though they
thought
give
he
it for other
was-
characters and actors. But he's got to be. He's got to be.
I thought he was
Because
already
it's a
confirmed
Kree
as
army,
Marvel.
but none of them are blue. Which means that...
Some of the other characters are.
Well, there's like a grey washed out one.
There's
I
one.
believe.
There's a woman in the
And there's
the
Ronan.
team, and there's Ronan.
Yeah,
Um,
in comic accurate looking armour as well. The green with the plates and everything.
Yeah.
Full blown Ronan the Accuser.
'Cause, of course, this
just
is
without
set-
any dark eyes going on.
This
He's
is
going to
set-
be a villainous presence in it though. He's going to be.
I don't know.
I've got a feeling because it's the Kree Skrull War.
It's set. Yeah, it's set in the
So
90s.
Ronan's
so it's-
definitely going to
yeah.
be getting up in that his age.
Because
No
you've got
pi-
that. You know it's set in the 90s because Carol Danvers is wearing a Nine Inch Nails t-shirt.
Yes. We don't get to see Coulson in the preview pics, but we get to see
Yeah,
Nick Fury.
de-aged Sam Jackson with both
Yeah.
eyes.
He got to keep both eyes open on this
Yeah.
one. Hi-oh! And it makes me
Good.
realise
Good.
that the Civil War scene with Tony and
Yeah.
pre-credit scenes for Ant-Man,
Yeah.
what's the other one where there's a significant de-aging scene?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Those scenes, I think, were test runs
Oh, yeah.
for doing it to one of their actors for an entire movie.
Well, that's
That's what's
all that
happening in this with
stuff's-
Nick Fury.
All that stuff's been test runs for both across this and the stuff they did in Rogue One with the recreating Tarkin and
yeah.
young Carrie Fisher.
less successfully in that movie.
Yeah.
More successfully in the Marvel. The Marvel ones only have the slight uncanny valley feel because you're just like, that's not what the actor looks like. But I recognise that is the actor performing it, so it feels weird.
I feel like the Tarkin...
Apart from Bill Foster, where they're just like, Lawrence Fishburne's kid, you look exactly like your dad. You'll be him. We'll digitally alter your face slightly.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Tarkin in...
Rouge Wine.
In Rogue One. Well, I think I would have preferred it if they hadn't put
too many
Peter
scenes
Cushing's face on Guy Henry, if they'd have just made Guy Henry up to look a bit more Cushing-esque.
Like the actor who you see at the very end of Revenge of the Sith, briefly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although those prosthetics might have been so extensive, they might not have been able to talk. So
who
knows?
That's true.
I don't know the level. And I'm honestly shocked that wasn't CG'd, because those movies were lousy for bad CG, so...
It's, all I know is the still image of Sam Jackson works.
Yes, whether it will work in motion for a whole movie or not is another thing.
But I tell you what does look good in those pictures, or at least looks so brilliantly put together that I was blown away by the fact we're at that point now where these characters could be in it.
Skrulls from outer space!
The motherfucking Skrulls.
Yeah, boy.
On loan / bought back from, I guess, the void of Disney Fox hybridization.
I think, again, it's difficult to say.
Some characters exist in between, because the Skrulls were in the first draft for Avengers.
Yeah.
And then, for legal reasons, they went no. And they changed them into the Chitauri, who are based on the Chitauri from the Ultimate Comics, which were a replacement for the Skrulls, because they were trying to figure out what to do with it, and they didn't want to go full-blown Skrull. And then eventually they started doing
nothing
Skrull
like
stuff.
the Ultimate version of the Chitauri.
Oh no, but like the name and so the face, because when you see their faces, the faces are the same. That's kind of it, really.
Sort of.
But yeah, so it's you know it's cool. The Skrulls sort of exist in that the same sort of space as Quicksilver does, where it's like Quicksilver belongs to both the X-Men franchise and the Avengers franchise, so we can use him.
Yeah.
And the Skrulls belong to both the Fantastic Four franchise primarily. They're the most recurring enemies of the Skrulls in the comics.
Yeah.
And the Avengers, because in recent years the Skrulls have been part of big event books that the Avengers have mostly been part
even
of.
going back to the original Kree-Skrull War, that was in the 70s.
Yeah.
A lot of like races and things like that of the Marvel Universe have become sort of omni-villains, so they're not relegated to just one sort of set of heroes, so to speak. So yeah, they look cool. They look like Skrulls. Again, we'll see what they look like.
Not at all like Piccolo in the Dragon Ball Z film.
Not at all. Let's not.
But at least you look at it and you go, yeah, I still would like to visit briefly the alternate universe where Willem Dafoe was given prosthetics to play the Green Goblin.
Man.
The ADI tests where he had like lenses for eyes.
I think they look great.
Prosthetics. They look really cool, and the Skrulls look really cool. And like, here's a weird little thing. Okay. Have you noticed they don't like hats on some of their villains? Namely, in this case, Thanos very quickly loses his headgear. Yeah. And is a big, bold, beautiful, thick boy.
Well, they imply that he gets bigger every stone he gets.
Yeah, but also he just takes it off, and also it's that vulnerability thing of he don't need no armor now.
I don't need no armor, boy.
But the Skrulls as well.
Exoskeleton under his skin.
Oh God, we'll get around to that. But also the Skrulls don't have they normally have like a cap or a helmet on, and in this they don't. The scales on their head are sort of speckled purple instead. It's
I know what you mean.
Really odd.
Interesting.
Same with Ronan the Accuser. Ronan the Accuser sort of has like a mask as part of his cowl in the comics.
Yeah.
And in this, he has some black paint on his face in Guardians. And in this one, nothing. It's like, huh.
I'm assuming this is a set at a time before he goes full on crazy religious zealot.
Or at least,
and rebels.
Because Korath's in that group of Kree warriors as well. But like, pre-augmentations, he just sort of looks normal.
There's a name for him, but I can't remember what it is.
Star something, isn't it?
Star Cops. Star Cops.
Star Police.
Yes.
They're here to arrest the star.
So we'll see.
Police.
We'll see how Marvel do at filling out their cosmic part of their film universe without James Gunn. shall we?
Speaking of comic book universes with elements dropping from them like flies.
Again, there's no official confirmation of this, but it is
as of the recording of the 12th of September 2018.
But it is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, who tend to have good sources on this kind of thing. Apparently, Henry Cavill is out as Superman.
What? He was fired?
Nope.
He's run out his contract?
Yeah, apparently.
He's left.
Well, apparently then they were renegotiating a new contract because he has run out of contract. But they were
he was down to 4 movies, wasn't he?
Oh, maybe.
But then I suppose there's a technicality there because Justice League became one.
Yeah. But they say in the report that he was negotiating his contracts for a cameo in Shazam and a supporting role in the Supergirl movie, which has been announced.
Oh gosh.
And
how about you get your Superman right first before you bring in his extended family, DCEU?
Apparently, those talks have broken down, and a contract is now no longer on the table, which has probably got something to do with his recent casting as Geralt in the forthcoming Witcher series from Netflix, because that's going to keep him busy for a little bit.
Good casting?
I have no
idea. Probably not.
So
he's proving more and more to not be that great, really, isn't he?
Yes. In the wake of those reports, which again may or may not be true, his agent has come out on Twitter saying that the cape is still in his closet,
which could just translate to we've not come to a final arrangement yet.
Yeah.
Which could also then translate to, but we're probably going to leave. He currently is Superman, though. Everybody, please think my guy is still employable. He's still Superman. He's a hot commodity. You want to work with him.
He is a hot commodity.
Because it could be that agent thing of, don't make them think that you're not employable.
He doesn't need to worry about that. He's just got a fucking Netflix lead.
That's true.
They throw money at projects.
Yeah, that's true.
And they keep him busy for a while as well if it's a series.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's a 6-part series or something for the first series, so
sure.
More to come later, but yeah.
But
still.
There's a wealth of source material there because it's based on a series of books,
which the games divulge from very quickly.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
But then hot on the heels of that, sir, what rumour has resurfaced?
Again, reports start coming out that Ben Affleck has stepped away from the Batman role properly.
Probably thinking, if Henry's gone, sod it, I'll go as well.
For good this time, maybe. For real? Is it for real? Who knows? Maybe.
Sorry, what?
So, yeah. That's the thing. So, and also talks of possible replacements is that apparently they're eyeing Michael B. Jordan for replacement Superman.
Now, we've spoke about this before on the show, most recently about Bond, in terms of actors, ethnicity, recasting and stuff. There are ways to make it work. It's a little tougher to swallow in this instance.
If it's supposed to be the same guy.
Because if it's meant to be the same character because of the shared universe thing, it's a bit like, wait, what? Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like, hang on, huh? Better idea. Just reboot, man. Just reboot.
Yeah.
You only have to keep Wonder Woman. Just reboot.
I honestly...
Keep Wonder Woman. If Aquaman does well, keep Aquaman.
Yeah.
Reboot. Re-frickin' boot. And then if you want to give Michael B. Jordan the blue, blue tights and red shorts and cape, go for it. You better damn well give him a good script, though. Give him a good movie to work from. Because that's Michael B. Jordan. He's freaking great. Give him a good film.
Some alternate suggestions. I mean, I'd love to see...
just bring back Nicolas Cage.
Superman. Well, some suggestions from Twitter.
Yeah.
How about Oscar Isaac as both Batman and Superman?
I would watch both of those films and the eventual team-up movie. While we're at it, Wonder Woman as well. Make it Wonder Woman.
Dean Cain says, I've been on a long-needed vacation. My son's now 18. I hear they're looking for a new Superman. Is there an age qualification?
No, you God-fearing conservative nasty bully man.
Yes, true.
Yeah, but your series was great in the 90s, and anyone who's not seen Lois and Clark should watch it because it's freaking great. It's more Superman than the DCEU Superman has ever been.
Yes.
It's so warm and lovely, and it's a shame that it's made by a horrible person.
I could go for a...
It's like when you find out Hades is a twat. It doesn't ruin your enjoyment of Hercules, but you're like,
Yeah. Colin O'Donoghue apparently is also a frontrunner.
Who's that when he's at home?
He has
Mr. Colin O'Donoghue. When he's signing for parcels, anyway.
He was Captain Killian Hook Jones on Once Upon a Time.
Oh, so he's Hook.
Oh, he was in The Right. That Anthony Hopkins exorcism film. That was alright.
Do I have the right?
It was alright.
Anthony Hopkins, do I have the right?
The alt-right. Yes. John Hamm has apparently expressed interest in taking over the Batman role.
Yes! Oh my god, yes. And then Taron Egerton as Nightwing. Yes! And Finn Wolfhard as
Damian Wayne.
No. Free Damien.
Tim Drake.
Yes, that now, please. And make the movies lighter. And make use of John Hamm's big defined chin in that cowl. And have fun with it. And show us wind up exploding penguins. God, that'd be so much fun. Quick, someone hurry up and do an Ezra Miller Flash movie where he accidentally breaks time. And he's like, he comes back and he looks around and he goes, oh my god, everything is completely different except for Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. But everything is completely different now.
I'm pretty sure that that's what they're trying to do. In terms of precedent for Black Superman, Earth 23, Grant Morrison's from Grant Morrison's Multiversity, in Autopop's Final Crisis, has a Black Superman who is also the President of the United States.
Well, see, now that just sounds really fucking cool as a story.
Yes. Well, Grant Morrison does some good things sometimes. So that's that.
And then other times, he does Earth 1 Wonder Woman.
Again, waiting for official confirmations, but looks like Cavill's out. If Cavill's out, then Affleck's probably out. And we might get Michael B. Jordan.
Can you blame Cavill, though? Really? No. I'm Superman in 3 terrible movies. Again, opinion subjective before someone starts having a go at us, but like...
The Supergirl Superman is a better Superman.
He's great. What's his name? Tyler
Hunklin.
Tyler Hunklin. Well, there you go. It's in the frickin' name,
but
isn't it?
He's quite small, so he wears lifts in his boots, which means his ass really pops.
Yeah, it does.
Not that I've noticed.
You totally have. I remember you showing me the set photos going, here's photos of Superman. Look at his ass.
Look at his ass.
Like, what?
Look at that super ass.
Super butt. You joined Nightwing in the objectified sexy superhero boys lineup.
Like, Dick Grayson's butt.
Dick's butt
gets a lot of attention in the comics.
It does.
Especially when he was doing the Grayson Agent of Shade thing. Because Midnighter was on the team as well. And Midnighter appreciates a fine man-ass.
A man-ass.
So, you know.
Here's some interesting footage. Just thought about it. So the Marvel films, the MCU films, are very aware of and very accommodating to the cinematic trope known as the female gaze.
Yes.
There's an obligatory sort of shirtless scene for every male character.
Even
characters like Scott Lang, who don't necessarily need to be muscular. Paul Rudd is muscular as sin in Ant-Man, and he gets a shirtless scene. Star-Lord is the only one of the Guardians who randomly gets sprayed in a slow-mo sequence in the first movie by the prison bots and is just shirtless and dripping.
Dave Bautista spends the whole time topless anyway.
Exactly. Like every time Hemsworth's arms flex, like a million vaginas and penises explode. I've noticed in the DCEU. Well, yeah.
Oh, my penis exploded!
I'm gonna go. In the DCEU, it's just Cavill and Affleck, and both times it feels more like it's for Snyder's benefit.
Yeah.
It's like, check out his gains, bro. Like, that's what it seems more like in those movies. Instead of, hi, audience members, here's some sexy man. Yeah. It's like, hey, audience members, watch me jerk off whilst Batman beats a tire.
I want the big barrel-chested Superman. Yeah. Not like the super ripped Superman. Like, he's big and strong, but you can also... He's farm boy strong. He's not, like, CrossFit strong.
Yeah. There's an alternate timeline where, like, 10 years ago, Nathan Fillion's playing the part.
Yeah.
Like, straight off of Firefly style, like, you know, farmhand, like, slightly rugged, quirky persona sort of thing going on. That build up some muscle. There's an alternate timeline where late 90s, early 2000s, Brendan Fraser is playing Superman, and it would work.
Yeah. The Mummy, Brendan Fraser.
That would work.
Yeah,
That would work
that's
like
exactly
crazy.
the kind of build I'm
In
I'm
fact,
talking
if
about.
you're going to do Dark Knight Returns at some point, because of course they're eventually going to do it again, because even though they used all the visuals from it, they'll do it again at some point. Cast Fraser as Superman. Give him some personal training, get him to sort of get the triangle upper body shape a bit, but let him carry that, because obviously in that he's meant to be like a cheesy mascot, presidential, like, assistant, all that shite. And cut that image and look a bit younger than Batman, because Batman looks haggard as hell. And Superman looks much better for his time. Like
Superman hasn't aged in Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, he's just sort of a bit stockier, and he's got a little bit of crow's feet, the edge of the eye, and that's about it.
That might just be Frank Miller's art style, though.
Yeah.
He loves crow's feet.
Do you know what else loves crow's feet?
No.
Neither do I. I don't think the segue works.
People who like birds to eat. Is there much meat on a crow's feet? Is there meat on a crow's feet?
Beat the meat, treat the feet to the sweet, milky seat.
Okay, that's what you've got to do. Now we're going to treat your meat.
Hi, we've been off for 2 weeks.
To a review of The Predator.
Starring...
Not Predator, not Predator 2,
Not
Predators. The Predator. The definite article, you might say.
Hey, it's The Predator from my movie. The Predator. Non-spoiler section first, ladies and gentlemen, but let's just dive right into that filth basket.
Listen.
The Predator is a 2018 sci-fi action motion picture starring Boyd Holbrook, Olivia Munn, who else is in the fucking bit? Sterling K. Brown.
Yes.
Who's great. Keegan-Michael Key, Thomas Jane,
Yvonne Strahovski.
She's lovely. She's great.
What's
Most people will know her now for The Handmaid's Tale, but I'm like, Chuck.
Jacob Tremblay.
Yeah.
Others.
Jake Busey, briefly.
Jake Busey.
Criminally briefly.
Lots of people.
Yeah.
It was starring more people, but at least 2 of them got cut out of the film completely.
Yeah. One for time, one for fucking moral reasons. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's a movie where Boyd Holbrook's character, what was his surname again? McKenna is his unit, i.e. 2 other people, are horribly injured in a spaceship crash during a assassination mission in Mexico, because he's like a military sniper.
US Army Ranger. Yeah.
He witnesses some alien stuff. He takes some alien tech and sees an alien. And cut to a few years later or whatever, or like a little bit later.
It's not a few years.
It's like a few months or something.
If that.
Because he's been away from home for a bit, is the implication.
Yeah, but
like he's not been home in that time.
No, I think they say he's estranged from his wife anyway.
Right, okay.
So he spends most of his time in country, not there anyway.
Yeah, like he's a lousy husband, but he's a damn good soldier.
Yeah.
That's an actual line in the movie. So he keeps a bit of the tech as a bargaining chip, because eventually he gets brought back in and psych-evaluated so that they can have an excuse to just throw him in with other people with PTSD and mental conditions from the military and this, that and the other, so he can never talk publicly about what he saw. That same alien eventually breaks out of the research facility, which is a place that has been studying these guys forever. Specifically they reference 87, 97... and it's been happening more ever since. Yeah. So implying that the planet has been visited by a lot more of these aliens, but we're going to specifically mention the 2 years that the first 2 movies are set, just so you guys know that those movies are
There's a moment where one of them's looking through some images, and one of them says 1990.
Is that Concrete Jungle?
I honestly cannot believe that Concrete Jungle is canon in any universe.
Well, there's 2 versions of it. There's 3. There's a graphic novel, there's a novel, and there's the game that was inspired by the novel.
I can honestly do not want to believe
that was a decent PS2 game.
Any version of Concrete Jungle is canon.
It was a decent PS2 game, like stealth tactics.
Oh, yeah, it looks fine. I've not played it, but it looks fine.
I'll have to track it down. I'll see if it's in Gotham Games over Christmas and bring it home.
Probably.
I used to have a copy of it. I really enjoyed it. But that's because I was an idiot. I had AVP Extinction, and I thought it was good.
The second AVP...
It was basically a crap... It was basically a crap Rome, or...
Yeah.
What were those ones where you like...
Real-time strategy game.
Command and Conquer? Is that
yeah.
Yeah. But with aliens.
And predators.
So he's thrown in with a bin of loonies, a loony bin.
There's got to be a good
group
way to
2,
explain this plot.
who are basically all crazy people, and then the Predator breaks out of the facility, and he's like, right, we're all going to get sent to the crazy place and probably kill the lobotomized, or you can help me catch this thing and bring it back to the military lot that want it, and then they'll let us off, probably, we guess, maybe. So, meanwhile, his son has got hold of some of the tech that he mailed home.
He mailed it to a P.O. box, but he had to stop paying for his P.O. box, he couldn't pay for it anymore, so it went to his home, and his son got hold of it.
And that triggered a signal that attracts another predator down to Earth, a predator that is in pursuit of the previous predator. So it's now a cat and mouse game of predator tracking humans to get its stuff back for reasons, and bigger predator coming to track down the other predator.
And its ship.
And its
cargo.
Using dogs that have dreadlocks and lizard faces. And in case you can't tell from our tones already, guys, last week we bathed in our love for the Predator franchise. Even the shite stuff we spoke about and found stuff to natter on about. And
I've been reading Batman vs Predator this last couple of days, and yeah, there's some good stuff in there. That first miniseries is really good.
Yeah, there's some stuff out there.
That second one is not good.
Oh no.
I'll show you some of the art later. It's fucking horrible.
But you can probably tell from our tone already, we do not enjoy the Predator.
The Predator is like
Independence Day Resurgence, which we'll elaborate more on in the spoilers.
It's like 3 or 4 or maybe more plots jammed into one film.
All of them not complex either.
No.
But enough to distract from the previous one when it suddenly changes gear again.
The movie feels like it's too complex because there's so much going on. Because it's Frank Decker and Shane Black who wrote the script.
Right. Which is so upsetting because
Black and Decker.
You were looking before at Shane Black's writing but specifically writing and directing credits.
Yeah.
So out of the movies that he's written and directed, there are 4: Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, with Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. Iron Man 3, The Nice Guys, 3x3. There, 3 pretty damn brilliant movies. And then The Predator. Which, as a script, does not work.
Nope.
As an edit based on clear improvs on the day that are just left in, tonally does not work.
There are chunks missing from this movie, and it shows.
The action is almost hard to follow in places.
Yeah. The action's choppily edited, and it's not particularly well shot because it's too fucking dark.
Now, is this Shane Black's first sort of CGI heavy flick? Because I know Iron Man 3, of course, has loads of visual effects shots, like hundreds of thousands.
Iron Man 3 probably has a lot more CGI in it than this.
But Iron Man 3 also has a human narrative and a human-driven narrative, right down to the plot of the movie being Tony is without the suit and has to rely on just his smarts alone to solve the problem.
Tony is a man!
But also all of the action scenes in that really are in daylight, apart from the one that isn't, which is glowing people firing lava stuff from their hands in a small town that's covered in Christmas lights. So even then, it's like, visually there's stuff to see. In this, not so much. No, it's not AVP Requiem bad in terms of how dark it is.
It was also probably not helped by the fact that we were watching it in 3D. Because
opening night, and that was the only way to watch it.
Because you do get... And it didn't. The first showing wasn't until 6:15 on the day it opened.
Yeah.
That is weird.
That is strange. Maybe they knew that there was no point putting it on during the day in terms of its audience. And it was a pretty...
Term time.
For an early
intense 15,
And for an early evening screening, it was a pretty, sort of fairly packed screen. It was about a quarter full.
Yeah.
On a weeknight and stuff. So,
but,
there were people... I think everyone who was there tonight wanted to see this, as did we. There were the people who were like, a new Predator, sign me the fuck up.
And I got a feeling of dejection from the cinema when it ended. Because it ends badly.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to when we do spoilers.
It leaves you on such a...
it's just
such a gross note.
It's just a mess. There are chunks missing from it. Like, clearly. Like, characters leave one location, appear in a completely different location.
With a new set of wheels.
With And like they've
Twice that happens actually.
Yeah, and it's like just people just keep turning up. There's one moment, not really a spoiler, but there's one moment where they leave a house and then they're in a camper van, which has a bunch of fucking weapons in it, with no explanation as to where they got it or why all the weapons are in there. And it's just like, where the fuck? Where did they get a fucking camper van from?
Nearly everything that happens in relation to the bigger predator coming down and finding where they are is a byproduct of coincidence. To the point where after 4 or 5 in a row, you're like, really? Is this how the plot's advancing? Kid randomly springs open one thing from Gauntlet. Kid randomly activates Mask at this point, and it pinpoints the location. Well, why does it have to be found and be the property specifically of that kid, of his? Yes, the PO box thing explains it, but it's like, really?
Well, he is scanning for the mask.
It's true, but it makes that world incredibly small.
But he's actively looking.
No, that's
true.
That's true. But I just mean in terms of the idea of a predator coming to Earth to deal with another predator, not aliens, not a clean-up thing like a Requiem or whatever, like that.
But it is, though.
It is, but again, it's that weird world of coincidence. Oh, he gets the mask back to the predator just in time for that one to arrive, and it's like there were more interesting narrative threads dangling there. Like you could have had a whole thing with if the kid had the mask for longer, and that became the chase thing. Do you know what I mean? But it gets back to the other predator just in time, and it may well for that predator to then have the other one arrive and come to a fight. And it's like, okay, well, why did the kid have it in the first place then? Why not just have it? Because as we find out later in the film, without going into spoilers yet, that first predator is on a bit of a ticking clock of. I'm not sure. I have a thing to get done.
I'm not sure I understand your particular problem.
No, it's more just a problem of the film at large. We were talking about this before. That there are several more interesting stories it could have told,
and the pacing's all over the fucking place,
and then it chooses not to. Yeah,
the pacing's all over the place because big chunks of it are missing. It feels like
it sort of goes. Here's an interesting idea. But we're not going to go further than saying that it exists.
I know they did a ton of reshoots.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh. And it just feels like the studio chopped it to fucking bits.
It feels like a lot. It feels very much like Ghostbusters 2016 in places as well, because there are several scenes in a row in the second act where the loonies, the core group, are interacting, and it's all comedy, and it's comedy. And it keeps intercutting the flow in a way where you're like, you guys have improv'd and you've liked it and you've left it in.
Yeah.
But you've left it in whenever they did it, and it's disrupting the flow of the movie. Because
Keegan-Michael Key has improv'd and everyone liked it, so they left it in.
I don't think he or his dialogue per se is obnoxious.
No,
but the frequency of it becomes obnoxious.
Yeah,
and that's an editing and pacing.
And
issue
there certainly are some obnoxious things in this movie.
Good God! But let's talk pros, because I think some people will be like, oh, well, they hate it, and I don't need to listen any further. But there is some stuff in there. If you are Pred curious, as we are, Pred curious, and you want to see it, I do recommend if you're a big Predator fan seeing it. But if you've got Limitless or whatever, use that. Or if you can get an early matinee, and like a weekday matinee or something where you're only spending a few quid, do that. Because this is not one to seek out. But there are bits that are like, when it's practical effects for the creature, they look great.
Yeah.
And it's ADI back in the saddle, first time since AVP Requiem.
The effects generally in this. I've heard a criticism that some of the effects towards the end feel unfinished, which I didn't feel so much.
I think it's more the fact that you were suddenly dealing with just a CGI creature.
Yeah.
That the lack of mix of practical and CGI does
maybe
detract from it. The same way that in the Thing prequel,
the
creatures all stand out because they're all CGI, and it's like, Whereas the reason why CGI and practical effects should always be hand in hand is because CGI helps aid the practical effects in bits that are harder to pull off, and vice versa. The practical effects then convince the eye that the CGI is real. So when you see that physical effect of the T-Rex looking through the window in Jurassic Park in the rain, looking at the kids at Lex's flashlight, when you then cut to the CGI one, like standing on the truck and trying to bite the bottom of the truck, you're like, that's the same creature. I'm looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, the second Predator is, I believe, completely CGI. I don't remember seeing a single practical shot of the second Predator ever.
Not sure about that, yeah.
The first Predator, definitely, there were practical shots.
Oh, yeah, and some great practical
lovely
shots
screaming moments. There's a bit where this film, here's sort of an example of how the tone's odd.
Yeah.
This film has a moment, as the first two Predators definitely do.
Yeah.
I don't think it has it in Predators, but the first two Predators definitely do. Where they establish that if you are unarmed and not attacking it, it leaves you alone.
Yeah.
Because it's not sporting, it's not honourable. Like, it leaves you be. It is there to hunt and to combat and fight. This film does it really on the nose because it's a naked Olivia Munn crouched on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, oh, so they're going as far as they possibly can. She is naked and helpless.
Thankfully, they restrain from doing any booty shots or anything like that.
Which fair enough, but it also was like, did you need to go that far? Like, because the way they do it is this contrived decontamination thing.
I mean, it's actually a pretty good gag.
It is a good gag, but it's also like, right, did you just create that so you could have her naked when the Predator approaches her and go, you have nothing on you, I will leave you alone.
I didn't get
but
that
I will
from
still
it.
Roar at you a bit.
I didn't get that from it at all.
No.
I
think maybe I just felt it was a little seedy because it was like, you've invented that device and this is the firing of that gun.
I saw it. As the gag being that she has to go through this overly long.
Yeah, oh no, absolutely.
Process
but she could have
escaped from this lab.
She could have not been naked for that moment. She could have just been. She could have just gone fucking crouched like midway or whatever.
Yeah.
And like she's got the biosuit off or whatever.
But I think that the gag still would have worked if she hadn't been naked.
What was with the comedy sci-fi trank gun that she then had that looked like a super soaker?
Don't know. I'm assuming there is a scene in that got cut where someone gives her that and tells her how to use it because she picks it up as if she knows how to fucking use it.
So, like, her role is she's a biologist consultant for the military, specifically for undocumented or as yet undiscovered species, and occasionally anything they feel might be extraterrestrial they call in for her advice.
Yeah,
to take a look at it.
But it seems like she's never been called on before.
Yeah, or at least like not for this kind of thing. And she's brought in to see the Predator, and they're called. It's called the Predator in this movie. This is the first time they're called the Predator.
Yeah, they openly say it's a nickname. Yeah,
it's like the Predator. She's like, what? The Predator. She's like, they're like, it's a nickname because it comes and it hunts. She's like, yeah, but it sort of does it for sport. That's more like that's a hunter. That's a I can't remember what they call it.
Sports hunter.
Sports hunter. And the guy says, yeah, we all thought the Predator was cool, right? And everyone goes, yeah. He's like, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay. So the Ralph breaks the internet joke again.
Yeah.
Just because you're acknowledging it's dumb.
I think this movie does a generally pretty good job of acknowledging the dumb things that happen in it and the dumb things people say in it.
But I think, like the Meg, it doesn't go far enough.
No, it doesn't go far enough. And I think it probably went further at one point. Because it's a Shane Black script, and the studio cut back on it.
Shane, I'm Trevor Slattery. I'm an actor.
Yeah,
Black, like he will go to an extra length to make something a bit more absurd, so that it is not what you expect, but at the same time is completely convinced and behind what it's doing.
Yeah,
and that conviction sells you on it. Whereas in this, it did sort of feel like they hold the reins a bit too much. And
I feel like Fox were unwilling to go that far, in which case, why the fuck did you hire Shane Black for this?
That's true. That's true. Well, they did it because he did The Nice Guys and he did Iron Man 3. We should definitely get him. And he was in the original Predator and he wrote all the best lines on the spot for the original Predator, so we should get him in.
Which is apocryphal. I don't know if that's true. I know he was on the set.
He definitely wrote some of the lines on the fly that stuck with it. Probably all of his own and occasionally Jesse Ventura lines, I imagine.
Who knows?
Well, didn't he allegedly come up with "Ain't Got Time to Bleed"? That's one of his, apparently.
Maybe.
I'm sure I read that this last week.
Okay,
that's one of his. He suggested that.
That's a great moment.
That's a good moment. It's just that. You're hit, man. You're bleeding. I ain't got time to bleed. And just his look in the background, sort of like, for a second, he's just like, okay, all right.
All right, don't be weird about it.
I ain't got time to bleed. This movie does 2 vocal callbacks to the original that are kind of painful. It has a visual callback to the first one in the form of a piece of equipment. Implying, I suppose, that it is that mask from the first movie, which I suppose is possible because the Predator's armor doesn't seem to get eradicated by its own tech. In this, there's a moment where someone holds up the Predator mask and it deflects.
But I think the
weapon.
explosion would have destroyed it.
You say that, but don't you need dumb MacGuffin artifacts to fuel sequels in these things, where the first movie kind of is its own thing and there's not really a need to tell more stories, but they have to find ways to tell more stories.
Listen, there's some...
That bloody rifle or whatever, the handgun that the Predator... The pistol the Predator Elder gives Danny Glover in number 2 would not have been in mint condition on its belt. It would have been crumbling by this point, because it wasn't in a case being looked after by a museum.
He looked after it.
Yeah, on his fishnet pants.
Yeah.
Walking around space with it.
Listen,
check out my pistol! I'm a Predator!
It's got varnish on it.
Aren't the Predator ships dull inside?
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, it seems like they've carried that over from AVP Requiem. Because Wolf's ship is like that inside.
Instead of going with the Predator 2 sort of slightly mystic...
Like Rita Repulsa
glowy,
Power Rangers villain base look, which looks more interesting.
Yeah.
Or even the AVP Requiem, like stone Aztec throne kind of thing. From AVP.
Yeah.
That's more interesting. And this is just grey and metallic and dull and...
Yeah. So, some of the visual design in this movie leaves a little to be desired. Particularly the Predator tech. Because you do see a lot of the Predator tech and Predator language.
There's some nice stuff with that. Like, there's a translation thing, which means at one point it speaks to them and the computer speaks what it's saying. And you realise, wow, they've kind of got a bit of a sense of not only eloquence, but a bit of a sadistic sense of humour.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, I'm fine with that. That's fine. There's a nice bit where, like, you see them speak to each other, like, the graphics go up on screen and transform to English.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, I didn't hate that, because it was used sparingly.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, okay.
You're not having, like, full-on philosophical conversations and exposition with each other.
Like a Terry Nation script. But it is sort of...
literally just as little...
But it is a bit of a sign of it being lesser storytelling than the previous 3. Because the previous 3, you learn everything you need to know from the Predators by what you see and by their physical motions and actions. And in this one, it's like, no, they're going to have to speak. It's like, are they? Do they have to? I guess they do.
I don't know that you could have got quite as much out of this
if they
hadn't.
Well, you say that, but Sterling K. Brown and Olivia Munn do nothing but like give theoretical exposition.
Yeah. No, I mean the Predator specifically.
Oh no, but even after we see something, they then go like, I believe that it's on a reconnaissance mission because the other one had something that it wanted to get hold of, and it's like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know that. You just know that because the dumb audience need to know it, apparently.
Yeah.
It felt insulting. And I think spoilers can divulge that a bit further.
Yeah, let's dive into spoilers.
Yeah, so here we are at the 47.5-minute mark. Don't go see the Predator. Go see Predator and see Predators and see Predator 2. They're great.
Don't go see the Predator.
Don't go see the Predator unless you're willing to spend a small amount of money. Or it's on Netflix like in a year and you're like, oh, go on then.
Yeah.
Let's get the cons. Why do you cast Boyd Holbrook, who's proven to be quite interesting and charismatic, and not let him be interesting or charismatic beyond a few lines? Like, early on, there's a really nice bit where he says, like, touch me again like that and I'll break your fucking neck. And then he looks at the guy who's busted him and says, oh, sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of cool. And then they repeat it. And you're like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
He gets given, in the third act especially, several lines that you feel was the film going, hey, 80s style quips. And it's like, doesn't work. Mostly because of the editing. Like at the end when he kills it, he goes like, what did you say? It gurgles very briefly and he goes, shut up! But he shoots it in the face. And you're like, what? Was that meant to be cool?
The movie sort of changes tones as it goes on. It morphs from... It's all in the music, so it uses a lot of the Predator theme at the start and reworks that theme. Yes, we all know how the theme goes, Chris. You don't need to fucking hum it. He's been doing that. He did that in the car all the way fucking home from the cinema. Stop! Don't. If you hum that theme one more time, I'm going to remove all your teeth.
With this beer bottle?
No.
American History X
with
style.
My toes.
Oh, I mean, I'll be honest. It's kind of a turn on.
Okay, maybe not. So yeah, he uses the Predator theme a lot at the start in different variations and incorporates it into new Skull material, which I can get down with.
You're down to clown.
I can get down with that. But then the music sort of changes halfway through to be like heroic action themes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really fit the characters that we're following. Like,
I think this is the first... I mean, that's a tonal thing as well, but I think this is the first Predator that isn't a horror in any way.
Yeah.
Like, the first one is an action horror sci-fi.
Yeah.
The second one is a sort of action sci-fi with a heavy emphasis on horror. The third one is kind of a horror sci-fi movie. Like, it's a slasher film in a game reserve. This one really doesn't do much toward horror at all.
There's
and the tone is very much like that, especially like say the score from the middle. The score is heroic deeds. We're gonna fight the alien creature.
Yeah.
And it's just like what?
And there's a definite sort of switch in the movie as you're supposed to start treating these sort of misfits as heroes,
noble heroes,
and they're not noble. They're
twats.
They're broken.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a more interesting direction to go in.
Yeah. Well, you made a great suggestion on the way home. You said, why wasn't that bus full of other people who've been witness to these similar events that are alluded to?
That's
so
a
that
more
they all
interesting
have
story
something to
tell.
fight for.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they all have something to fight for. Because I then said, like, they don't want to get the Predator to give it back to the army as a bargaining chip for their own freedom. They want to expose it to the world at large and be like, we're not crazy. Look what's been happening.
But instead they have to put all this backstory in about how this person had this horrible thing happen to them and this person had this horrible thing happen to them. Also, here's Alfie Allen doing a terrible Irish accent.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
No,
Thomas Jane has Tourette's.
He was entertaining.
He was entertaining. I'm not sure they handled it great.
There's one moment that's gross. It's the pussy joke.
Yeah,
it's just like the whole film stops for a moment
because also they don't just go. They just let it go on rather than turning around. Anyone turning around and going, "It's Tourette's. It's tick."
Yeah, it's a good 30 seconds in. Keegan-Michael Key goes like, he didn't specifically mean your pussy. Like he's sort of like that was the only moment where he's like, he's not
and that's
saying something inappropriate to you.
As close as they get to explaining it.
But it's also the only moment in the movie where he explicitly just like says something like that.
Yeah. The
rest of the time it's just sort of like a tick or he shouts a swear word briefly.
People goad him into it as well.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly got some sort of parroty nature to his
threats.
Ticks.
Yeah. But it's the fact that the film grinds to a halt for that line.
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
And it's just ooh.
It's weird. It's odd. Like I said, Keegan-Michael Key's character, like, he's very much the Hawkins of this bitch. Like, he's just spouting out inappropriate jokes. Or going like, what is that? I don't understand what's going on. And it's not his fault. It's just the frequency of them having those moments.
And they do...
It's so distracting.
They do the, why do you call them predators? Shouldn't they be called hunters thing twice? And it feels like there should be a third one to round it out. Because, good laughs come in threes. But it just doesn't go anywhere.
Do it when the Predator's talking over the comm thing and be like, we are not here to prey on you. We are not predators. We are here to hunt. Or something like that. And have someone go, see? And, you know what I mean? Just something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Let's talk about something that really pissed me off. This is not so much a spoiler as it was, but I've been saying in the podcast before that it really annoyed me in the trailer that it revealed there was a bigger predator and they were going to fight. Because I was like...
Didn't annoy me particularly.
Which is fine. But I think for me it's just because I remember the marketing for Predators was very much that. It was, now there are bigger ones and at some point the one is going to fight the bigger one. It's like... Okay. That was the plot. That was it.
It wasn't.
In terms of the Predator... No, in terms of the Predator side of the plot, in terms of the alien involvement on that surface level and what the journey it took us on in the set pieces.
On the surface
it was
level.
Predator, bigger Predator, kill smaller Predator, now we fight bigger Predator. And I was just like, is this all we've got, movie? Is this really all we've got? I know the premise of the original three is very basic, and that's the strength of that first film and its sequels, is that it's a very basic premise tweaked slightly to feel different because of the playground or the stakes. But then in this one, it just sort of was like, do what the last one did.
See, I was actually surprised because I thought there was plenty to discover in that back half of the movie after the second Predator arrives. Because they don't try and keep it a secret in the film that there's another Predator after him. It's established straight away.
Yeah, well, there's a ship after it,
yeah.
And then about 25 minutes in, you see the first footage of another ship being piloted, and it's like, are those dogs? Yeah, they're dogs, I guess. So stupid. Oh, God, the dog companion.
For me, I actually thought that they kept a lot out of the trailers of what was actually going on. The only thing that you know is that there's a bigger Predator. That's the only thing the trailers really spoiled for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I thought there was enough going on.
I think I just would have enjoyed that Meg-style curveball of, wait, what?
I don't think that was supposed to be the curveball, though.
Oh, no, but I wonder if the experience would have been slightly more surprising had we not known at all. Do you know what I mean? It's like when that moment happened without any ship build up, and then it being that him holding him in the corridor against the wall, and then that arm comes through the wall, being our first thing of, wait, what?
Yeah, but it's not set up to be that, though.
I know, but
even in the film itself, it's not set up.
No, of course. But I feel again, I think it's a missed opportunity thing with this. There's so many interesting angles, and I'm always like, did they take the right angle? I don't think they did.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's so much going on that they didn't show in the trailers, but that's because I think there's too much going on.
I mean, Jake Busey, like you say, his character name acknowledges that he's definitely likely the son of or related to.
He has been confirmed. Again, I don't get why you're getting hung up on this. He has been confirmed by the production to be the son of Gary Busey's character in Predator 2.
Yeah, but that's not in the film. That's confirmed by the production. That's like, Lando's pansexual.
It's not,
is there evidence of that
like
in Solo?
It's not like that at all.
Well,
because they share a surname, and he studies the Predators. He has a clear fear of them,
right?
And he doesn't want it to escape,
right? That's fine. But what I'm saying is, I take that.
What I'm saying is,
I take that and I accept that. But again, there is more you could do with that would be more interesting.
Granted.
Than just hinting.
But I don't
this guy's related to the guy from Predator 2.
I think that the criticism that they don't do enough to make explicit.
No, that's not my gripe. I think I'm wording it wrong.
You are definitely wording it wrong because that is what you said was your gripe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I worded it wrong. The point I'm trying to make basically is like there is more of an interesting thread there. Like what you're saying, the suggestion. There's more meat on those bones.
But they don't do enough with it,
and they don't do enough with it. And it's a shame because it's like,
if you've seen Predator 2, then it's immediately obvious.
You know full well there's like a Dark Horse comic one shot about it or something, and it's like that's fine. Why is that not in the film?
Yeah. But if you've seen Predator 2, it's, by the simple virtue of the fact that it's Jake fucking Busey that is his son.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference. There's a difference between failing to explain something and being explicit about it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I agree there. I guess the point I was trying to make more was just that, there's more meat on those bones.
Yes, they could absolutely do more with it, but I don't think...
we were saying before, if it was the convicts or people who dealt with it before was like the thing that drew everyone together, you could have had it so that he was also part of that, and it's like, I've been trying to freaking expose this for years. My dad was killed by one of these
would have been
things.
A way more interesting way to use that character, absolutely.
And it would have been a better way, because here's another thing, this has been marketed as a reboot for the franchise. So, that soft reboot territory of the others exist, but here's a great jumping on point. Except it isn't.
It isn't.
Because this film really relies on you knowing or giving a shit about the previous movies.
Yeah, because like I say, it's so much of it of what's going on is you have to sort of use your knowledge of the other films to sort of work out what is happening.
Yeah, and that is
which
not
isn't
how you do a reboot.
No, it's not.
Unless you do that thing of my father did this or. Here's some testimonies, and you cut to Dutch being honestly, interviewed about like the events of the original movie or something, you go, oh my god, like
it would not surprise me at all if that was A in the script and B shot.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that was in the script and shot and it was just cut. Because this has got some serious problems with bits missing.
But it's very confident that it's the start of something new. Should we talk about the last scene?
Fuck's sake. Yeah, let's talk about the last scene and then let's talk about something else, anything else.
At the beginning of the movie, the Predator ship is crashing. And it shows you a pod being ejected from the ship.
No, it's not ejected from the ship.
No, it's...
It shows you the pod... Again, this is bad editing. shows you the pod on the ship.
Yeah.
And then it shows you the Predator get into another pod, which is the pod that's ejected from the ship.
Yeah, because the way it's edited, it looks like he's escaped in that one.
Yes.
And then has gone and found his wreckage.
It's not. And there's a few moments like that in this.
But you see, the point is, there's that long shot where you see it, and you see this thing ejected from the back of it.
Yeah.
Which, the way it's edited, it makes you think it's the Predator.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the
film...
No, it is
the Predator.
Oh, that one was. Okay, yeah.
Because when you go back to the ship at the end of the film, the pod's still where it was.
Right, gotcha.
So
because they make a point of, like, he made sure that this was left behind, so no matter what happened, like, we would find this. Yeah. And they're like, right, okay, and plucky child of main guy is working at the desk. It's like,
we need to talk about the child character, actually. We need to talk about the child character. Let's
touch on that character. So...
Let's finish this, and then we'll talk about the child character. Let's finish this thread. One thought at a time.
So they get to the pod...
Yeah.
And the scientists around it, and a scientist character is introduced at the end, either through very bad editing, watching Boyd Holbrook from a balcony, and then suddenly appearing on the stairs next to him, or because there's another character watching from the balcony that they're going to touch on later in another instalment, and then this guy appears.
I honestly think that was just bad editing.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing it on purpose,
so
that they could I would be surprised if they did it on purpose, so they could retroactively put, like, Danny Glover or Schwarzenegger in or something in a later instalment. But yeah, so they get into the thing, and it's like, it left this thing, and it made sure we'd find it, even if it died, like, we'd find this pod.
Yeah, because the ship gets blown up, but this pod survives.
And they open it, and this sort of hover thing comes out. A scientist approaches it. The kid deciphers that based on the Predator language, it's been called the Predator Killer, which makes no sense, because the Predators don't call themselves Predators.
Nope. No, he says, I guess you describe it as a Predator Killer.
Hell.
So, like, he's...
And at this point, I think we were both sort of looking at our watches going, this is the end of the movie, right?
Yeah, this is going to be the end of the movie.
Or is this going to be is this like the real end of Act 3? Like, what's going on? Yeah, it was the end of the movie, because this thing latches the scientist's wrist and suddenly terraforms all over him, and he becomes a giant, like... I suppose the best way to describe it would be if the Predators designed a Terminator, I guess would be the best way to describe it. It looks like a robot Predator.
It's like a cross between a Predator and Sector and Cyrax from Mortal Kombat.
Yes, yeah. I once turned a Bionicle into a Predator.
Yeah.
Because it had like a mask thing. I gave it dreads made out of black plastic stuff and blades. This is what it looked like.
It's a mecha Predator.
Yeah. And it's got oversized, like, freaking Rob Liefeld-esque guns and blades. And then it detaches itself from the scientist, and he's panicking and freaking out. And Boyd Holbrook's looking down at it, and the head scientist goes, "What is that?" And he said, "My new outfit. I hope it comes in 42 long." And it's like, what?
Very good.
And then the credits roll.
Very
so the
good.
film's implying that this is part one of ... question mark. And that the next one's going to feature Boyd Holbrook in a CGI armoured suit.
No,
fighting
thank you.
predators, because apparently the predators know that our species is reaching its end at some point within the near or not too distant future.
I think this is where the problem, one of the problems is, because I don't think... When they first...
I don't think that's my big problem.
Yeah, when they float that idea, I don't think that they're trying to imply that the Predators are going to invade and wipe us out.
Not necessarily, yeah. Or they're... Well, no, it sort of implied to me that they wouldn't be against coming down to end us quicker once they've got what they need.
I don't even think it's that. I think what they're trying to say is that they're getting what they can out of the species before it dies out, and then once we've died out... Because they're seeing what we're doing on our planet, and they know we're going to die out in a relatively short space of time.
They'll come back, clean up, and use the planet as a habit.
They'll come back, and they'll take the planet for theirs.
Because this film basically it changes the mythos slightly, or at least it gives us new information. I mean, obviously, in real life, it changes the mythos. They've just rewritten what something means previously to be a new thing, and that's fine. Like, you want to tell new stories, that's cool. But how the Predators always keep trophies. The trophies where it keeps the spine are usually the most honourable kills based on what we've seen in the previous movies. Yeah. This confirms that it's not the almost honourable kill. It's opponents they deem worthy or superior to the rest of their species.
Which is more or less the same thing.
Yeah. And then they take spinal fluid extract from the marrow of the spinal column and they mesh it with their own DNA to make themselves stronger or leaner or faster or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Predator in this movie is part human. On my mother's side. Remember, Phoenix? Think.
I can't do this right now.
So
it's too late in the evening.
Which is stupid because this Predator looks a lot like the OG style, and the OG style one that appears in Predators. It's got like a bit of a longer chin and stuff, and a bit more of a wider brow and everything. But it looks like the OG Predators in a sort of Predator Dark Horse Comics AVP style.
It looks
armor.
like a classic Predator.
Yeah. So it's implying that those ones are like part human. They use human DNA. Hence maybe why they like to hunt humans, because they're looking for the next like upgrade to themselves based on the ones they kill. Which would then imply that the Predator in the first Predator is doing just that. It's like, I'm going to go and get me some more cool human DNA to make myself strong again. Like that. It's retroactively, that's what they're implying they do. So it's like, okay, fine, whatever. And that means the one in Predator 2, they're not just looking for sport, they're looking to get something for themselves aside from just a trophy and kudos. Which means Predators, they are just humans, and horrible humans or combat humans are brought there just as a game reserve. It's like they're the practice before the Predators go to Earth to hunt on it.
But they also do take spines.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't remember them doing the full cleaning trophy thing in Predators, though. I think it was more just they keep bloodied body parts around because they're a bit more feral.
But again, it's...
And they beat up what we now know to be sort of human hybrid predators.
No, I don't think we do know them to be human hybrid predators.
No, we don't. But these are things that you could retrofit to it should you choose
but I don't think they give you enough information either way.
You think they're more X-Menning this? Like they're not thinking about the continuity too hard.
Partly because it is a Fox movie, but also partly just because I don't think. Based on what we see of the big Predator, which is more enhanced.
Yeah, which has like goat legs.
Yeah,
it's got like reptilian ankles and feet.
If you take
and is 11 foot tall.
If you take the classic Predator 1 Predator as the base Predator and you put human DNA in that, it's not really going to change it.
Well, I'll have a slightly more defined jawline, like the one.
Maybe, but that's it. Like, so
I like the AVP ones, which are built like superheroes.
Yeah,
because they're meant to be more heroic looking. Because we're meant to believe one of them is a good guy at the end. Which is so dumb, but also great design work.
Whereas,
because you look at it and you go, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Whereas I
don't take the mask off though. Oh, it took its mask off. Fuck.
I don't think that's necessarily the case with the big Predator, the super Predator, seems to have more different kinds of species spliced into it, so it's a bit more. It's bigger and it's more. But this film shows that the key target of that, because that Predator's main mission, this is where it got really confusing. That Predator's main mission was to come back because it knew that the first one was bringing something to Earth to help Earth defend itself. Yeah. Which again, there's some more meat on those bones. And into them. But that's why that doesn't gel with the idea.
So why does this Predator feel like it needs to help humanity?
Yeah,
what's the plot?
It doesn't gel with the idea.
In helping humanity, why is it beating the shit out of them?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So huh?
Yeah.
It wants to communicate, but yet the first thing it does is start killing people.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand. And then this other one has basically been sent there. This one's like a hunter tracker. This is like the wolf predator from AVP Requiem. It's there to do cleanup. It's there to get this predator, not let it give things away. And it even brings like a couple tracker dogs with it to help with the hunt.
Recover technology, destroy anything left behind.
Yeah. But then it changes its mission. It blows up the original Predator ship, believes it's done the job, because it doesn't know that they've still got like some tech on it. It believes in that moment that it's done the job.
All that it knows that they've got at that. It doesn't know they've got anything at that moment.
Exactly. But then it decides, now I'm going to hunt you because I want one of you to blend my DNA with. And we believe it's Boyd Holbrook. And then we realise it's not. It's his kid. Because earlier in the movie, a weirdly offhanded piece of dialogue from Olivia Munn's character suggests that the kid's autism is a superpower because people believe that autism is the next evolutionary change for the mental processes of humanity. Yeah. And of course, there is a really cool idea there,
And this kid is some kind of savant with technology.
Yeah. Were this a superhero movie, that would be inspirational as fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just like, hey, guess what? Your autism, it doesn't hold you back. If anything, you have different strengths.
I don't have a problem with the fact that he then decides to hunt.
It's the fact that it's a tiny kid, and then the predator then hunts a tiny kid.
Yeah, that's the bit. The problem I have with it is why he decides who he wants to take as his main trophy.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the fact that he's completed his mission and he's like, all right, well, I'll have a little bit of a hunt while I'm here.
Yeah, like, that's fair enough. It's the fact that the hunt is to a weaponless, defenseless child, because based on his scan of the kid, he's like, you have autism, and I want that, which is a really weird thing to say out loud. It's so badly handled when he's talking and framed, to him. Yeah, when he's talking to him. If the kid were older, it would be less weird, I think.
Well, it's not even that. It's when he's talking to him through the translator, he describes that only one of you is a true warrior. And it just doesn't fit with what has come of that character. So, yeah, it's
dumb as sin.
It's weird.
It is not a good movie. And
it is not.
I would say it's the worst of the four.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. I know a lot of people balk at Predators, but I don't think those people have watched it. Yeah, really. I think they just assume that it's shit, but Predators is fine. It's a new chapter. It's the framework of the first movie changed to be more in the favour of the creatures.
The problem I have...
And it introduces some new cool stuff, and there's a really nice serial killer reveal and all that stuff.
The problem I have with this film is it's just such a mess.
Yeah.
It is a complete mess. It's all over the place.
But an hour 35-minute mess. So...
A bit like one of our podcasts.
Yeah. What would you rate The Predator out of...
I wouldn't rate it. It's not very good. Don't rush out and see it.
I'd rate it. Why did you say that twice? And she said I didn't.
It's because it rhymes like poetry.
If we can get this bigger predator right, he's the key to all of this. If we can get this autistic child right, he's the key to all of this.
Because he's a funnier character than I've had
It's
before.
so badly handled.
It's so badly handled. And I see what they're trying to do with it. But there's so many times in this movie with story arcs and themes and characters.
Thomas Jane and Keegan-Michael Key's characters, they suddenly throw in an element that these two are the only survivors of a specific accident. They both come from the same thing. They're the only two who got out of it.
But specifically,
and they have a very strong bond.
Specifically, Keegan-Michael Key's character has PTSD because of a friendly fire incident where he blew up one of his own vehicle, a vehicle from his own unit. And the Thomas Jane character is the only survivor of that vehicle that was blown up.
So and it's like, oh my bonded. God, you could really do something with that. And there's suggestions of it, the idea of like, he forgives him and wants him to be better.
Yeah.
And things like that. And there's all these little hints, but they don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Oh, but they help kill each other when they're both mortally wounded. Yeah, but are they?
Yeah.
Because that was really weird, because it looks like Keegan-Michael Key's leg shot off. But then when it cuts to him on the ground, it isn't.
No, but
he's just bleeding.
I think he's bleeding out, though.
From the leg?
Yeah, the femoral artery runs through your thigh.
That's true, but...
If you sever your femoral artery, you're going to bleed out in like 5-6 minutes.
But I don't want to have a freaking medical degree or an understanding of arteries to get a quick visual in a movie. I want to see that in this film.
I think I've seen enough action movies to know that if someone gets nicked in the upper leg, it's a bad time for them.
Are you trying to say that you could kill a man with his thigh?
Well, not just his thigh. I need something to slash his thigh open with.
Are you trying to say that the real killer was the owner of the fairground?
Listen, one of the big problems with the characters in this film is that in the original Predator, in all the Predator movies really, they do a really good job of establishing who the characters are and what they're like and how much you should like them with the minimum of dialogue.
Yeah. Again, we're talking about Predator, Predator 2 and Predators.
Yeah.
Not AVP or AVP Requiem, but yeah.
Predator particularly is exceptionally good at that.
Predator's superb at that.
So that when they start getting picked off, you're like, oh no, I like that guy.
Predator 2 to a degree.
None of that in this.
Predators to a degree.
For two reasons. One, that they don't do a good enough job of making the characters likeable.
I mean, they're all the same character.
Yeah, basically.
They all do the same thing.
Oh,
they have quirks.
They're
all ultimately the same character.
They're a quirky veteran. And secondly, they leave it to way too late to start killing off the main characters.
Yeah, I think the first one of that group to get killed is the Irish fella, isn't it?
Allen, yeah.
He gets his arm blown off and then presumably his head blown off.
He gets snuck up on by the big predator.
Yeah, whose first move is to just blow his arm off.
Yeah.
Why not just blow his head off?
Sport.
That's not sport. That's kicking a deer and then shooting it.
Yeah,
That's weird.
Some people would define that as sport.
But, I suppose it's because this predator is the villain predator. He's the baddie predator. Oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just watch Predator again, guys.
Yeah, don't bother with the Predator. It's not very good.
But you know it is very good?
What?
God, I hope they're good. Emails!
There's so many. I'm not going to do all of them because I've been away for a week. We've got loads to catch up on. So we're just going to go...
to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and buy ourselves some snacks.
I'm just going to do this one.
Okay. Do me, baby.
Do one. We'll probably what we'll do is because we've got to bank up.
This one.
I
was actually told off for not reading this one. I had to explain that last week was a pre-record.
Yes, because we've got to do some more pre-records soon. So what we'll do is we'll probably do one of those episodes where we just do a bunch of emails.
Yeah. If you guys are like, I emailed you in the last couple of weeks, you not read it out. That's because last week was pre-recorded. And this week, we want to go to bed.
This week, we're still recording. It's 2 minutes to midnight. 2 minutes to midnight. So yeah, I'm doing one email because I want to go to bed.
Is it from Sir Biliam of Tracy I?
It is.
Yeah, he bollocked me this week. We were both at Warp this weekend. The 5 Who fans were at Warp, the Manchester Doctor Who convention, which was weirdly organised. But we had fun. Although John's favourite part of the weekend was when we went for a drink in the middle of the day.
Which was...
I bought a piece of merch, but it wasn't Who merch. I bought the neck of Pennywise.
Good.
Because why not?
Good. That's a weird thing to be on sale, but okay.
Hey,
anyway, let's get through this... Let's get through this email.
Oh, God. What's he done?
So... Dear Big Damn Lads.
Hi, Billy.
I've been catching up with the podcast over the last few days and would like to take this opportunity to thank you both again for your continued services to this sane little corner of fandom and pop culture. However, one thing that has troubled me occurred during a email section. During one of these Q&A sessions, Tom Montan.
Hi, Tom.
We've got one from Tom as well, but we're not going to read it today. We'll get there, don't worry, Tom. Requested you to rate each of Doctor Who's new series with percentages. I appreciate Tom's efforts, but I fear he has not been anywhere near thorough enough.
Oh, God. Oh, God, I'm dreading this now.
With this in mind, I would like you both to rank each Doctor by an exact percentage using however many decimal places are required. Then swap the heads of each of those Doctors and provide all of them with 4 arms. Now, I want you to provide every story from 1963 a rating between 1 and 4,934 with these changes in mind.
Oh, so each Doctor has to have the head of a different Doctor and 4 arms.
Then, and only then, can we truly discover whether or not you are true fans.
Oh, God.
Rehire James Gunn. Your pal, Billy. P.S. Let's all go out for dinner again sometime.
Yes, I agree.
And
lovely Billy. Let's not go to Byron, though. They have a ridiculous service charge.
The only thing I can really say to that is, and it's an auto-suggestion by Gmail. It's an auto-suggested reply. Sure, I'd be happy to.
Oh. Did Gmail pussy out on us?
Let's, Do you
want to rate the modern Doctors by percentages?
Yes.
Not including John Hurt or Jodie Whittaker.
Using a bit of quick mental maths. I'm going to go...
Capaldi, 31%.
31.67%.
Oh. Smith.
72.3%.
79.63%.
Yeah.
Tennant.
88.88 recurring percent.
85.63%. Eccleston. 110%. At all times. Morning, noon, and night.
99%.
Dirt! Don't touch me!
Because nobody's perfect. Even Leckle-Stone.
Wow.
Tom Baker gets 83%.
What?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
Because-
Isn't he your boy?
Because even when he's bad, he's quite good. Quite good. I do so hate faint praise.
Give him his talking cabbage. Give him what he wants.
Yes.
And give us what we want, boys and girls. If you want to get in touch, bigdamcontact@gmail.com is how you can email us.
Yeah.
You can hit us up on Twitter @BigDamCast. You can catch us on the Twitch at twitch.tv/BigDamStream. And most importantly, if you enjoy our podcast, tell your friends, spread the word. Retweet it, reblog it, favourite it, like it, thumbs it up, by jingo. Give us a lovely review on iTunes. Every little thing like that really does help. And it's a nice way to show your appreciation if you're enjoying our waffles and whiffles every week.
Get off my waffles, they're for me.
Oh, God. Keep your eyes peeled on all of our whatsits in the coming weeks for bits and pieces. But until then, Matt will leave you with this sage advice that was once spoken to him by Noel Coward.
Bird's eye potato waffles, they're waffly versatile.
He was a wise man, wasn't he?
He was a thing.